Hey, today I'm going to do a video on me winterizing my boat. I have a 99 Bayliner Capri 1950. It has the 3.0 4-cylinder in it with the Alpha 1 outdrive. Now I'm going to start off by pulling out my bilge plug because we've had rain the last couple days and there's a little bit of water in the boat, so I need to get that drained first before I do anything else. Alright, I've already loosened up the plug with a wrench, so we're going to pull this plug out and wait for her to drain out. While the water in the bilge continues to drain, I'm going to go ahead and throw in some fuel stabilizer, and then I'm going to spray some fogging oil into the carburetor. I've already taken off the fuel cap. Alright, a little bit more in there. Oop. Yeah, it was hard for me to hold the camera and pour the fuel stabilizer into the gas tank at the same time, but rest assured I've put some fuel stabilizer in the fuel tank. I don't have a whole lot. I think it's not on, but I think last time I looked I had about a quarter tank, so it didn't require a whole lot of fuel stabilizer for the amount of fuel in the fuel tank. So now I'm going to get in the boat, take off the air cleaner, and I'm going to throw some fogging oil in her. Okay, I've already loosened up this nut with a wrench. Take that nut and washer off. Alright. Take this off. And there she is. So I'll get the boat started here in just a minute and start shooting some fogging oil down her. Alright, now that I got it started, I'll spray a little bit of fogging oil into the carburetor. A little bit at a time. Now I'm just going to spray it till she dies out completely. Alright. That ends that part of the process. Alright, the next thing you're going to want to do is, there's that blue drain plug. And there's a brass one. I don't know if I can even see it. There's a brass plug right here that needs to be pulled out and have the water drain too. So I'm going to do that off camera, so I'll be right back. I removed that brass drain plug. As you can see, that water is starting to drain out, and then once it stops I will go ahead and go after that blue plug. Let's see if I can do this on camera for you. we go. Drain the water out of there. And once that's through draining, I'm going to take off all these heater hoses and take out the thermostat and pour antifreeze in there till they come out of both of those holes, and I know that the block is full of antifreeze, and then I'll go ahead and fill up the hoses also with antifreeze. I'll be right back for that one. A couple things I'd like to mention real quick on that fogging oil. I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but you spray it until the white smoke comes out of the exhaust. And I'm getting ready to put the antifreeze in now. And with the antifreeze is they do have a plastic container you hook up to your hose, and what it does is it pushes the antifreeze and water mixture into your block just as it's being just as your boat would suck up water when you're in the lake or whatever, and it's supposed to make it a lot quicker. I did that last year, but I'm not doing it this year because of that tank that holds the antifreeze is damaged, and I just haven't fixed it yet. Probably needs to be replaced, to be honest with you, but I'm just going to do it this way here. So, all right, bear with me. So now I'm going to start on removing the clamps off of these hoses. Now that I have the hoses off, I'm going to go ahead and take these two bolts out of the thermostat housing. Alrighty, should be loose enough. Alright, set these off to the side here. We'll just go ahead and work it loose. Where is my, there you go. Alright, I'm going to work this thing loose and I'll be right back. I'm back. I just gave it a few love taps with the screwdriver. And as you can see, we got the thermostat gasket, which I'm not worried about because I'm just going to replace it in the fall. Oh, I'm trying to get this. There we go. Thermostat got stuck underneath this gasket there. Try not to get any of that in the. There you go. Alright. So then I'm going to take some antifreeze. Okay, I can hear it pouring out of the block, so I know it's through and it's been. Yeah, there you go. As you can see it coming out there. So I'm going to put this, well, set them, there you go. Put that, there you go. Put that plug back in. I always leave it off just to make sure this antifreeze pushes out any remaining water. And I'll just take this antifreeze and fill up the block. Alrighty, I'm gonna do something real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, now I'm gonna pour a little bit into the heater hose right here and this one here. So I'm gonna have to turn the camera off to do that because I can't hold the camera and pour at the same time. Okay, now I'm gonna put this brass plug back in. And this sucker's not easy to get in. It's really tricky to get back in. Alright, I'm going to pause this video while I try to get that plug back in. There's no need to bore you with that. Alright, after battling that brass plug for several minutes, got the thermostat back in and thermostat housing, the two heater hoses put back on, and what's left now is to put the spark arrestor back on. Keep saying I'm gonna buy a wing nut for this, but I never do. But I definitely need to. Put a wing nut on it. It really reminded me of when I was a kid working on cars with my dad and my friends, and turn the air cleaners upside down like we're gonna get more horsepower out of it because it looked cool. But whatever, we were kids. We were kids. Things we thought were cool really weren't. But yeah, well, that's about it to winterize the boat. I'm gonna change the fluids out in the spring. There's no point in changing fluids now, and it just sits all winter. But I always go ahead and cover up my outdrive. That way it keeps water from, you know, getting in there and whatnot. I just put plastic over it, and then I trim it all the way down. I would like to add one thing to this video. Last spring, went ahead and replaced all my gauges because my voltmeter and my tach were both dead. So I just went online and about this. The set that this boat came with, the bezel trim ring was black, but I couldn't find those. I don't know why. So all they had was the chrome with the stainless, and I think it looks better. But my next project is need to replace all 6 of these rocker switches. They're just looking bad. I mean, it is a 99 model too, so it's time for those to be upgraded, and I'm going to upgrade them to lighted switches. So when the switch is on, there's a indicator light showing that it's on. As I said earlier, I always wrap all this up with a piece of plastic, and sometimes with a small piece of tarp if that's what I have available, and then I'll trim it all the way down. That way it's my way of preventing any kind of water from getting in the exhaust down here. But speaking of this trim, I was just thinking I had issues 2 years ago where it would not trim up. It would trim down, but it wouldn't trim up. And the only way I can get it to trim up is if I hit the trailer button. And what I found out, to my surprise, doing some research, was that, believe it or not, this switch was just out, just enough that when it would trim down, it wouldn't make contact again inside after it was trimmed down all the way. So took it off, this cover, cleaned it up, put a little bit of dielectric grease in there, and made the adjustment, and man, now she works like a champ every time. I just thought I'd throw that in there. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Yeah, there's not much to winterize in those 3 liters. It's pretty simple. As I stated earlier, only thing I ever have trouble with is that getting that brass plug to thread, because when it goes into the manifold, it's on a slight angle, and you got to match that angle right in order to get the plug in. So I'm gonna go get some ice cream. I don't know what you're gonna do, but that's what I'm gonna do. And thank you for watching.